Coming up on episode 173, let's start that over, shall we? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 173, Warcraft 3 Reforged got problems, Marvel trailers, an Animal Crossing theme switch, and much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest geeky news of the week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me is my wonderful co-host, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hey, everybody!
So, Courtney is not doing video tonight because she is feeling under the weather.
Yeah, the way that I have to lay down to have my knees supported does not support video, so...
Yeah. But, so hopefully...
But I'm here.
Yes, you are here. And hopefully, we'll be able to tackle those issues soon.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
So kind of a light-ish news week, which is good. So that way we'll have a little bit of a shorter episode. So works out for Courtney. So why don't we get right into it?
Yeah.
So, the sort of big story, I would say, is basically... So we kind of talked about how Warcraft 3 Reforged launched last week and had a little bit of problems. Yeah, to say that Blizzard kind of bungled the launch would be a gross understatement.
Oh.
So, So it had a bit of a rough launch, like network-wise, where nobody could connect via multiplayer due to network issues. So, like, that's typical launch day stuff or whatever, but the fact that it's basically a remake of a nearly 20-year-old game should be, like, why are we having these issues?
Yeah.
But additionally, so remember how I was talking about that, like they would have improved cutscenes and better graphics and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Not the case, Courtney.
What?
This is so huge point of contention. In the demo and the marketing materials, they show it. So the demo from 2 years ago and the marketing materials, they show that they have these like improved models and great cutscenes. It's not that the cutscenes are actually worse than the original game.
How?
They're less animated.
Oh
so in addition to that, it's there's weird stuff going on, like that the background assets, so like trees and grass and stuff like that, apparently is capped at 60 frames a second, but all of your units and your characters are capped at 30 frames a second, so you have this weird disconnect going on between like really smooth backgrounds with less smooth characters walking around on them.
Sounds pretty jacked up, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Additionally, so I heard from basically the Instance podcast talking about that, and one Garrett Weinzierl, host of the Angry Chicken and sort of co-host of the Instance and everything, he was unable to access his original game after, like, so even if you have the original Warcraft 3, like, in order to, like, if you wanted to reinstall the original version, there does not appear to be a way to do so. It automatically redirects you to Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Had they said that they were gonna do that?
I do not believe so. It also seems kind of weird to do so. But yeah, so there's that. They took out a bunch of multiplayer features, like clans and tournaments and stuff like that, because they cited that It was a lot of effort being put into something that wasn't really being used by a lot of the community. So they just like took those out. Whereas
Weird.
and I don't know if they took them out of the original game as well, is a thing. In order to keep it like, because supposedly I think it was supposed to support crossplay between Reforged and vanilla, we'll say.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on there. Also the fact that the Reforged version, quote unquote, costs $40.
What?
So it's essentially you are paying $40 for not much of an upgrade of a game that came out like 15 to 20 years ago. That actually, you know, could arguably perform worse than the original game. And had a misleading marketing campaign because they're still using those upgraded models and cutscenes to advertise this game.
Yeah, that's not cool. Like,
y'all thought Nintendo was bad with the pricing on old games.
Well,
this is horrific.
Thing, my question with the graphics thing is, was it stated clearly that those were simulated, or was it in, like, you know what I mean? Like,
the only thing was, there was the big cutscene that we actually talked about it last week, was this cutscene of the culling of Stratholme.
Yeah.
That cutscene from the demo was like a much improved cutscene, and the only indication was like it was like assets not final or something on that.
Oh,
right.
Because you know how in like Warcraft, like, you know, you get the Warcraft gameplay or other video games, you'll get like in the videos and it'll say like, you know, this is not actual gameplay or something.
Oh yeah. So where like, it says not actual gameplay, like, and this was supposed to be that. This was supposed to be an in-game cinematic.
Oh.
And the actual in-game cinematic looks even worse than the original game.
Oh my.
Which I don't understand how you go backwards in time.
I don't either, because that's just like
this is a case where I'm glad I didn't buy it. Because like number one, I'm not really interested in real-time strategy games these days. Like turn-based strategy, all about that. Fire Emblem, Three Houses, fantastic, you know?
Yep.
I still need to get into Wargroove. Super excited for that. You know, I might even pick up like this Dark Crystal Age of Resistance tactics game.
Yep.
But I need to watch the series first. But just because I think there's plenty of room for these turn-based strategy type games. But real-time strategy, I feel like there's a very limited audience these days. Which is evidenced by the fact that like you really only hear about like StarCraft. And even then, like they placed like StarCraft 1 is still more popular than StarCraft 2. It's just it's one of those things where I wasn't really interested in it from the get-go, but I was interested to see, like, I thought it was just going to be, you know, they launched it, usual Blizzard polish, looks good, fantastic, people are going to enjoy it and everything. And that doesn't appear to be the case. Like, this appears to have been a rushed game. A game rushed to launch.
And that's really sad. Like,
and the thing is, I think it actually has some interesting parallels with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Which...
Really?
So here's the thing, is I also think that... So I do think Pokemon was rushed. I think the end result of Pokemon Sword and Shield is better than Warcraft 3 Reforged, but I think both of those games were rushed to fill a publishing deadline to ensure that there wasn't a gap, like a huge hole in a release schedule, right? Because Blizzard does have a Warcraft expansion coming out later this year. But that's not until the fall. Because otherwise they don't really have any big... I mean, there's another Hearthstone expansion at some point. But, I mean, Hearthstone kind of dropped off after the whole Hong Kong fiasco. I mean, those numbers tanked after the Hong Kong fiasco.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I would be surprised if they weren't.
And, like, Heroes at this point is a footnote. And Overwatch is gearing up for Overwatch 2, so they don't have any big releases either. Diablo 4, who knows?
But we know that
that's coming out.
But we know that Overwatch is gearing up for that, so like they're working on that, and we like.
Well, right, but what I mean is this was something where, it may. So I know that the primary scapegoat for a lot of this stuff is to blame Activision.
Yeah.
But this actually kind of feels like this might have been an Activision decision. As opposed to like really kind of saying, this is not good enough, we need to do better. And Blizzard actually like did kind of publish a statement on the forums, like an official... There was a quote-unquote blue response, which is when somebody from Blizzard like posts in the forums, they have like special blue text and everything to denote that it's official. It was kind of a non-apology. That was just like, this was the experience that we chose to publish and put out. And so, that's what we ended up going with. And that's the game that you're going to get. And we're basically, and like, they're going to try and solve the problems by patching them later on. However, they're not going to patch in like better cutscenes and stuff. They said that they had decided to deliberately make that decision, and it was like,
well, it was a crud decision
to give people the authentic, Warcraft 3 experience.
Are you kidding me? The whole point
my
of
thought
remastering
is
something.
So my thought is if you want people to experience like the original game like that, why are you remastering it and not just selling the old game?
Yeah.
Right?
Like the whole point of a remaster is to remaster it. Not to, like, not just to put out as it was. If you wanted to, you could. Just release the original game again for new systems.
Yeah.
But, like,
now I brought up Nintendo before.
Yeah.
So let's talk about when Nintendo does this, right? Nintendo did this twice fairly recently with not one but two Zelda games with Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD. Now, you want to talk about an example of how to do a remaster right? And be able to get away with charging full price for it? Let's take a look at Wind Waker HD. So what did Nintendo do with this? Nintendo actually did kind of basically remaster the graphics to HD quality. Probably a bit easier to do with cel-shaded models and everything, but we're talking about technology that existed around the same time as Warcraft 3.
Yep.
Right? Because that's kind of the same time frame as when Wind Waker first came out and the original Warcraft 3 first came out. And even then, PC's always more powerful than consoles, so there's that. Nintendo also said, you know what, that's not enough. Let's take a look at what some of the pain points were in Wind Waker HD, or in Wind Waker. One of which being the Triforce quest, which was awful. It was awful. It was tedious. It was horrible and boring. So they fixed it. Completely redid that section of the game and reworked it so that it was different and to provide a better player experience.
They went and said pain points I like that.
They did that. And they added some like little bonus features and like amiibo support and stuff like that. And the fact that because it was for Wii U, they also added second screen functionality so that you could access your items and stuff like that on the second screen. So that way you never really had to like open up the menu at all because it was already open, and you could look at your map and stuff like that or whatever. So like added functionality to it as well, without taking any. I think the only original functionality that they might have taken away was like the tingle tuner, but that was such a weird thing that had a very specific niche case that like nobody missed, right? That was the only functionality that was taken away. And Nintendo charged, I think it was $50 for that game, right? Now compare that to what we're getting with Warcraft 3 Reforged, and it's mind-boggling that like a company like Blizzard that touts itself on the Blizzard process and the Blizzard polish and everything would put this out. And I'm not sure how much stock I put into it, but there is a conspiracy theory going around that like that the game was actually just outsourced completely. That like Blizzard didn't even work on it. I don't think I believe that. I'm much more willing to believe that it was like a very small internal team that worked on it, that was rushed, that was pressured to meet a specific deadline, that they had maybe a bunch of these higher quality animations and cutscenes in the queue, and then were told that in order to meet the deadlines that they had to cut them. The thing that doesn't make any sense is they also cut like the one cutscene that they actually showed off. Like,
I mean, it's not in game?
No, the Calling from Stratholme cutscene is that was shown in the demo is not in the game. Which is weird because it was already done. Like the work was already finished.
It's already completed. Just add it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you could argue that maybe because like other cutscenes weren't done with that style.
Yeah, it would look weird, and so they had to take
that it would look weird or whatever. But like, I don't know. I'm surprised that they did not just decide to delay the game and say because that would be the Blizzard thing to do, is to delay it until it's actually ready.
Until it's actually done?
Yeah, until it's done. And they didn't. It was released in what I would say would be an incomplete state. And that's bad. I mean, for Blizzard to do something like that, that's really bad. Like, that's EA level.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally what EA will do.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. And that's just, like, it's cringy to make that, like, that fair comparison.
And the idea is, oh, yeah, we know these bugs exist and everything. We're going to launch the game, and then we'll patch it after the fact. And it's like, I don't understand. Like, who are you, and what have you done with Blizzard? You know?
Yeah.
And the cynical answer would be, Activision is who are you? Activision. What have you done with Blizzard? Applied pressure. So I don't know. My hope is that this was a one-time fluke and that something like this wouldn't happen again. But I think given there's been a pattern of behavior now with a lot of these missteps and everything, that I'm concerned, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's why, you know, like, I haven't bothered to jump, like, I jumped back into Hearthstone for a little bit. I think I basically got up to rank 20, but that was, like, months ago. Fell back out of it. I'm like, I don't really have any motivation to play. You know, Heroes, I haven't picked that back up at all. You know, I do the stuff at Warcraft, but, you know, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Didn't even bother reinstalling Diablo 3 and Overwatch when I got the new computer. So yeah, it's, you know, my thoughts on it are, a big oof is what I wrote in the show notes. This is, if you look up Warcraft 3 Reforged on, like, if you were to look it up on an 8-bit adventures, like, Wikipedia site or whatever, it would just be big oof as the image and the description. Yeah, I mean, there are. I don't know if it's like No Man's Sky level of bad and backlash as far as launches go. I don't know if quite, frankly, any game can reach that level. I don't even think Fallout 76 reached that level, but it came close. I think this it might be kind of on the level of Fallout 76.
Yeah.
But yeah, people aren't happy. People are getting refunds left and right.
Yeah.
So I think this will this was not a good note. Kind of to start the year on for Blizzard, since it's still pretty early.
Yup.
So yeah. Also makes me kind of nervous for, like, now this actually makes me nervous for Shadowlands, which is supposed to come out later this year, the next Warcraft expansion.
Yeah.
And makes me wonder, like, is that going to be rushed as well?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question.
Like, and that's the worst part about this, is that it's just, it's what's even worse than the state of that game is now the kind of doubt that it's casting on the company's abilities for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big oof is yes.
Yep. I mean, they're at this point, Blizzard's kind of in the same boat as far as my personal feelings go as like Game Freak, right? Where it's like, I mean, I'll buy Pokemon, like, I'll buy the Warcraft expansion, and I'll play it, but like, they could be doing a lot better. Like, and there's just some questionable decisions being made, kind of things. So, like, with Pokemon, I got the expansions. I paid for the expansion passes and everything.
Yep.
But at the same time, Game Freak could use like a swift kick in the pants to get its act together. And that part of that might be the Pokemon company, applying pressure and everything. But in the same way, like with Blizzard, again, I don't know how much of it is conspiracy theory versus how much is actuality of the Activision presence.
How much is the reality?
I was kind of before saying that, like, people that are thinking that it's all Activision are just looking for a scapegoat, but now, I mean, it's when there's kind of enough evidence, it may be my opinion starting to swing in the other direction now, and it's like, oh, maybe they weren't wrong.
Oh, you mean you've learned more information and you've been able to change your opinion based on that new information?
Yeah. Science! So, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a game I will be purchasing anytime soon. And honestly, I kind of feel sorry for people that did and are not getting a satisfactory experience. I hope that you get your money back.
Oh, yes.
If you have gotten it and these are minor points that you really don't care about, that's fine.
I hope you're enjoying it.
I hope that you get your money's worth of enjoyment out of that. Yep. I just think it's kind of silly to basically pay the $40 for what's like just not even an actual remake or remaster of that game.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't even think. I think I played a friend's copy back in the day, so I didn't even buy like the original version. Like I just played it for a little while, and then I think I stopped after like, I think the third campaign is not the Forsaken, but the the Lich King is the third campaign, and I stopped during that at some point. It was either Lich King or the Horde. I stopped during whatever the third one was. Didn't even get to the Night Elves, which is the fourth one and apparently the coolest one.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just here's the thing. If I'm gonna spend $40 on a game, so the joke was like this game's still in early access. And that just got me thinking, like, if I'm gonna spend $40 in an early access game, I'm gonna save $10 and get Temtem. which I did, but
Yeah.
yeah. Or Subnautica, which was another example of like an actual early access game done right.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, final verdict is it's a bad time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Right here in the studio, we have
we have
a puppy.
We have Chief Dog Officer.
Oh, here. Oh, you know what? He smelled cookies. That's why.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, you had to sneeze. Oh, you had to sneeze. You sneezed on me.
But
Auntie, wave hi. Oh, you want down? No, you can't have those cookies. This is gonna sound great for the audio listeners. So anyway, next up, Marvel trailers. We got a whole boatload of them during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
So we got another look at Black Widow.
Yep.
And then we got first trailers maybe for Falcon Winter Soldier. First look at WandaVision and Loki.
WandaVision. Oh my god, I had no idea what to expect about WandaVision.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So WandaVision, it was like it was partially in the 50s. Yeah, but it's like channel hopping as well.
Yes.
Which is weird. It was so okay.
It's like
fans of Supernatural. No. Fans of Supernatural.
Yes.
That episode when it's basically I think it was Michael. Is it Michael or Gabriel? One of them, which was posing as Loki, like trapped Sam and Dean in a continuous string of TV shows where they were just living in a series of TV shows. That's what it feels like. And I wonder if it has something to do with Wanda's basically reality powers, because it's her. So her magic is based on the same power that the Reality Stone has.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it has something to do with that, or if it's between like some interaction between like her powers and then Vision's Mind Stone kind of a thing that gets them sucked into like some kind of alternate universe type stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm just sad because we know how Vision ends up, but who knows? Maybe this is alternate universe Wanda and Vision.
Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be like just their adventures, and this looks like
this is something weird.
This is something funky.
I think it was also supposed to tie into Doctor Strange as well.
Okay.
So there may be some kind of alternate universe type stuff going on. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
You know what else? You know what else WandaVision reminded me of? That Fairly Odd Parents episode, Channel Chasers, where they just went into a whole bunch of different TV shows. That was what I thought of.
Yeah, it's kind of the same concept. But for me, Supernatural was they were stuck in those shows.
Yeah, so
and they were stuck living through that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't really tell from the trailer how much was stuck and how much was happening.
Yeah. But we also got Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that was great seeing Sam practice with the shield.
Yep.
Chopping trees with the shield.
And I couldn't tell if it was like fully intentional or not. Like, are you trying to chop the tree? Or are you trying to get the shield to go somewhere else and it hits the tree?
Yeah, that was a little unclear. But yeah. It just had a great visual when it opened up and it had the shield just stuck in a tree.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing in the shot.
Well, it made me think. I'm like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
and then,
really, really good.
We only got a little bit of Loki.
Yeah, I think I missed that one somehow.
But I think it's so they still haven't really confirmed anything, but I guess the prevailing belief is that it's actually alternate universe Loki that somehow slips through. Like it's alternate timeline Loki.
Oh.
as opposed like that current timeline Loki is still dead, but that it's like alternate timeline Loki somehow slips into current timeline.
I still don't believe that Loki's dead in current timeline.
But that's the thing, like nobody can tell.
But that's the shtick of it, I guess.
because it's posited that there was an alternate timeline created when Loki got away with the Tesseract.
Yes.
In Endgame, like when they went back to do that stuff, like it split off into another timeline.
Yep.
So that it might be that Loki. We don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm personally hoping that it's current timeline Loki. And who knows? Of course, I would love, and I don't think we'll get it, but what would be great is to do some kind of just like everyday like sitcom of just like life in New Asgard. Like have it be some kind of like The Office, have it be directed by Taika Waititi, and it kind of like it'd be like Valkyrie running the town, and Korg and Mick just hanging out, kind of a thing. Maybe do like
you want a Korg and Mick show, let's be honest.
I do want a Korg and Mick show, and I want it to be like Cheers. Great. Like, can you imagine Cheers set in New Asgard with Korg and Mick and Valkyrie, and and Thor like shows up every once in a while.
Yeah. When they can get him in, they just, hey, dude, you want to play some Fortnite?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be great. That'd be fantastic. But and then more looks at Black Widow. At this point, the trailer's kind of just rehashing stuff from other trailers, so haven't really gotten any new information. But
but it is nice to see it visually again and again.
And I think that's coming out. I think that's coming out soon.
Black Widow?
Yeah. I want to say March.
Black Widow is coming out May 1st.
May 1st. Okay. It was the other
right
M
with the
month.
M.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you were right with the M's. Yeah.
So, this reminds me, unrelated to Marvel trailers, we did get a confirmation as to season 2 for The Witcher.
Yeah.
And remember, folks, you heard it here first. When I predicted it, October 2020.
Yes.
Because that is when I thought it was coming. When I said fall, like a late fall 2020.
Yeah, I know some places were saying 2021. So I'm very happy to hear that.
Saw that news today. It was I think it was the Netflix president confirmed that or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah. I'm excited for these Marvel series. I think WandaVision is the most exciting.
I think because it's unknown. It's just like, I hope.
And it just looks so weird, and I feel like we didn't get enough of those two characters.
Oh no, not at all. As in, I agree. We did not get enough of them.
Yeah.
I will admit I am very excited for Loki because Tom Hiddleston is actually in it and it's not recast.
Oh yeah.
Which I love. Like when that's able to happen, it's awesome.
Yeah. So sort of related to this, Disney also released some information on Disney Plus, just as far as like earnings report and stuff like that. 25 plus million subscribers. So pretty good, pretty strong. So I think it's safe to say that it's here to stay.
Yeah.
And hopefully that means that they'll have some. I mean, saying this about Disney, hoping that they are able to leverage or whatever, but be able to use that as a way to bring more content to this service.
Yeah.
And really start pushing it. So yeah.
No,
wait a minute. Hang on. I have to look. I might have been getting Witcher mixed up with Mandalorian.
Oh, I think you might have been getting it mixed up with Mandalorian because I heard some stuff about Mandalorian And it's been the fact that I can focus tonight is because I've rested all afternoon.
Okay,
Because my
so
brain's been
Witcher
scattered.
Season 2, 18th of December, 2020.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can still take
So
that.
yeah, so I think Mandalorian Season 2 might be...
I think that might be the October one.
Mandalorian is October. So
Okay.
there you go. So
Either
in that
way,
case...
though, Witcher is still
still
in
right.
2020. Witcher is still in 2020, though. So we don't have to wait another full calendar year. So I'm still okay with that.
Apparently, also according to Variety, Sam Raimi is in talks to direct Doctor Strange 2.
Okay.
Because they dropped the director.
Oh.
Just citing, or he left the project citing creative differences, but he at least claimed he was still on good terms with Marvel. So,
I mean, that's good. I mean, that's leaving on good terms. Why ever
it's just
leaving,
well, which sounds
than...
like it sounds like that probably they wanted a little more say in the direction the movie was going than.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who they had originally gotten to direct it, but yeah, it's usually studio meddling is what gets a director to leave.
That's what that's code for.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Unrelated to Marvel again. That reminds me, makes me wonder if there was anything.
If there was anything
about the whole episode 9 thing.
Episode 9 thing?
With Star Wars. Director's cut or whatever. Some kind of conspiracy.
Oh, if we would be getting a director's cut? I would like a director's cut. I would like to see which way JJ really wanted this to go.
But it's... Yeah. There's still no indication as to whether it's actually a real thing or not. That's what I was getting at. To see if there's been any further information that's come out. There does not appear to be.
Boo.
So, yeah. The world may never know. So anyway, to get back on track, last bit of news. There's really, really pretty Animal Crossing edition of Switch coming out.
Yeah.
That has sort of pastel green and blue Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Has a
kind of island motif.
Which coincides with the new theme of the game.
Yeah, on the front of the new dock, it's a little island with Tom Nook and what are the brothers?
Timmy and Tommy.
Yes.
Or something like that. Yeah.
And they're just on a little island. And then on the back of it, I was seeing that has these really pretty, it's just like waves, but then it has all these little islandy, watery things in it, like whale tails and starfish and other smaller things. And it's really, really pretty. I mean, I have an issue when it comes to these new systems, like that are, I have an issue when they don't then also offer the extra Joy-Cons. Because I want those Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I just want the Joy-Cons. I don't want
the Pikachu
a new system. I don't need a new system. But yeah, I would very much like to have those extra Joy-Cons. And that's the only time that I've ever wanted like new colored Joy-Cons, because all the Joy-Cons I have are just the standard, you just sort have of gray. Yeah.
You're not like me and my neon yellow that just makes me so happy.
I really like these colors.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping in vain that they sell them separately, but I don't think they will.
I mean, they've done all of the neon colors now, so hopefully they will go on to pastels.
I mean, I would love to see it as a trend kind of thing, but like specifically those two colors just look so good.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, they will be releasing 2 new Animal Crossing themed Switch Pro controllers, which will have there's still a similar light green with one has Tom Nook on them and the other has the dog.
KK Slider.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are also going to be available. I think it's just Target and Best Buy for those. Okay. But yeah, so I mean those are also available or will be. So that should be pretty nice. Coming
So
out.
those are not from Nintendo, though.
No, they are not.
They
But
are
there is.
they are third-party Pro controllers.
Yes. Sorry, I should have. Yes.
Yeah, by
Yep.
Power A. So
Yep.
they
But
are.
Power A is a pretty good
they
company. They are wired though.
They are officially licensed. So, there is that. They are both wireless.
Oh, they are both wireless. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. I don't actually like the Pro controller design. I much prefer the Joy-Cons.
Really?
In terms of just the aesthetics for the Animal Crossing stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, I mean generally when I'm playing, I much prefer to use a Pro controller. But like if I'm playing in handheld mode, like
yeah.
So, Nintendo, please, if you will, sell those Joy-Con separately, and you will make more money. I swear.
They also made a cute new carrying case and screen protector.
Yes. Also part of the bundle.
Switches. Yeah, it has a very pretty. It's a soft case though. Like I'm someone that's not. I do not like soft cases for anything. I don't think that it's really protecting it. But it is going to be at least carryable easier that way. So, but it's pretty. It has nice mint green leaves on it and it's very pretty. But
yeah,
I just want the Joy-Cons. Heck, I would settle for Joy-Con skins at this point.
I have seen people talk about that they like remove the shell of the Joy-Cons and replace them.
Yeah.
I don't know how intensive that is. Because you do have to take them apart to get those shells off, but
yeah, looking at a Joy-Con in my hand right now, it's not the easiest thing to do, although there are just 4 screws in it. It actually might come off pretty easily, actually. Just the shell.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But at the same time, like I still keep everything of mine is in, I am the person who needs an OtterBox for her phone and the Gorilla Glass, like screen protectors and stuff are all on my everything actually.
Yeah.
And so like I'm a person that I'm not rough and tumble with my electronics, but I protect them like I'm rough and tumble in case something happens.
Yeah.
And so like I still have my red and blue skin protector on my Switch, even though I have my bright yellow Joy-Cons and stuff, and I just view the color a little bit distorted. But like that's I would be okay with getting like skins and a clear hard case, like a clear thin hard case, so that we can actually start enjoying all of these Joy-Con colors. Because if you're someone like me, you don't either your color is distorted or you don't put protection on your stuff, which I don't think is fair.
Yep.
So
One other piece of news about Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So Animal Crossing New Horizons
Hmm.
apparently will not support cloud saves or cross saves. So you will not be able to. So according to IGN, you looks like you won't be able to transfer your local save data to a new system,
Oh, so like, just throwing this out there.
and you won't be able
Say,
to use cloud saves with this game. Looks like.
so I'm just throwing this out there. So say somebody got the game when it launched,
Yeah.
but say Grammy got them the new system for
Yeah.
their birthday in May.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to transfer their game to the new system.
Correct. They would have to start over.
Ew. Ew. That's ew. Yeah. I don't know how I
So
feel.
yeah, it's a preliminary thing. I don't know. It may be again something that maybe is not in the game at the moment. I don't
Mhm.
know. But we are getting
Yeah.
pretty close to launch, so
Yeah,
yeah.
we are. Yeah, we
I
are.
don't know if it's because it ties in so closely to like system settings and system time. This is
Mhm.
although this is something that was not an issue for prior versions of Animal Crossing. Like it was always
Yeah.
tied to like the memory cards that you could just swap it out.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Uh, we'll have to wait and see. I know this
Yeah.
is not necessarily a problem that affects me, because I am likely not to get another Switch,
Yeah.
nor am I likely to need cloud saves. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I can see for folks that like are transitioning to a new Switch or whatever that
Yeah.
it's basically they're stuck and might have to start over from scratch.
Yeah. Are there other games that don't have cloud save right now?
Um, I'd have to look. I'm sure there's a list
Yeah.
somewhere. Let's see.
I
List
mean, just
of
because it doesn't seem like it seems like
Switch.
this is an abnormal thing to be coming out. I can't think off the top of my head if there's any other games that don't have the cloud save. Um, because I'd like to see, like, is there a precedent for this, or is this kind of becoming the new norm where everything has um that cloud save, and this is really going to throw some people off.
So it's kind of a limited list. But this
Mhm.
is from a Game Informer article from 2018. So bear in mind it's like a year and a half old. Um,
Yeah.
but uh, Splatoon 2,
Mhm.
Dark Souls Remastered, Dead Cells, FIFA 19, NBA 2K19, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu.
Okay. I mean, still a smaller list, but okay. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So it's not unheard of, but it's definitely a very small list as of then, obviously.
Yeah.
But um
So
okay.
that's just something to consider for folks that are interested in picking up Animal Crossing.
Mhm.
So
And folks that are planning to possibly upgrade their Switch to the new Switch. Um with the improved one.
yeah, if you're concerned about doing that, do it now,
Mhm.
or at least do it before you start playing Animal Crossing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Unless you like restarting. I mean, who knows?
yeah, I mean it's Animal Crossing, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say that if you're planning on upgrading, you might want to hold off on playing Animal Crossing until you upgrade.
Mhm.
But that's just me.
Mhm. Cool.
So All right, that
Alrighty.
wraps up the main news for this week. Now let's get into what's going on with 8-Bit Adventures. So, Berkshire Bites this week.
Yeah.
New episode. Megan and I went to Patrick's Pub along with Courtney and our friend Heather, and we talked a little bit about that, as well as our experiences on previous trips there as well. So be sure to give that a listen, and support local podcasters, support local businesses in the Berkshires, and especially since that was the whole reason for doing this podcast, was to support local eateries and food businesses.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you haven't done like Chili's or anything like that, because like we all know how that stuff is.
We actually did talk about that, and trying to figure out where the fine line was, because like for example, like Hot Harry's is a chain,
but it's a local chain. And I think that.
But then it also becomes like, well, where does Angelina's fall on that list? Or where does Friendly's fall on that list? And so that's, again, interesting discussions kind of a thing. But one of the interesting things is the number of places that have been on the list that we should go to that have since closed since we made the list.
Oh no!
Yeah, like half a dozen places at least. I think in Pittsfield alone, actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, and they've been replaced by like at least as many. So there is that as well. A lot of turnover in Berkshire County for restaurants. So there's that went up today, and so on Saturday, did 8-Bit Adventures plays Temtem. I'm gonna be doing that again tomorrow night as well as this Saturday. So lots of Temtem. And I'm hoping to spread the wonder and joy that is Temtem to you all. Because let's put it this way: the more people that play Temtem, the bigger it gets, and the more successful it gets, which will hopefully put pressure on Pokemon. So let's hope, right?
Yeah.
So we got that.
No, it was really like I really enjoyed watching. I'm really glad that you fixed the overlay.
Oh yes, so I have added some more overlays. So I will now be in the top left corner, so that I won't be obscuring any stuff. Chat will be in the bottom right corner, I think, or it might be, below my profile photo or my webcam or something. So that way, we'll be able to see more stuff on the screen, and so I can explain things more easily. So, and then Dark Matter returns on Friday.
Yeah.
So excited for that.
Yeah.
And then on the comics front, new comic 3-19. We've got company.
I'm worried.
Yeah, looks like
I'm
the Skeletal Army has inexplicably made their way to our characters.
I'm worried.
Which is weird because they were supposed to still be like at least a week out.
Yeah, no. You're doing me a worry. But
so yeah, still working on coloring old comics to get those ready for print. So I'm not sure how many art streams I'll have this month to work on them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So as always, we do have there is merch in the shop available.
Yeah.
So posting the link in the chat right now, but shop-8-bitadventures.com or shop.8-bitadventures.com. Just for a reminder on t-shirts, stickers, posters, and more. So always looking for feedback as to what you might like to see in the store. And a reminder that all patrons on Patreon, if you enter the code,
if you remember to enter the code,
10% discount. So, just my way of saying thank you for your continued
Yeah.
support. So,
But yeah, guys, really, really great quality t-shirts. They're the super soft tri blend, like super awesome. I wear an XL and it fits pretty true to size, but it's a little bit long in the torso for me. But I'm also 5'2", so keep that in mind.
yeah.
Stickers are great, and everything, like I've enjoyed everything so far. So, um, yeah,
And the t-shirts are American Apparel. So
yes.
they're about as ethically made as you can make a t-shirt. They I guess they look into how they can reduce waste,
Mhm.
and how to sort of streamline their processes to have the least impact on the environment as they can, both from a resource management perspective as well as waste management perspective.
Mhm.
They also,
Actually pay their
at least
employees.
according to their website, yeah, they also care very much about employee well-being and welfare. So a lot of ethical hiring practices and pay grade,
Mhm.
which is why the base product is a little more expensive. I am
It's worth it.
basically, yeah. I
It's
think so,
worth
let's
it.
see. I'm doing. Hang on. I'm gonna calculate out the markup percentage.
Nah, I mean we don't need the math on it, Sean, but they're if you've gotten a shirt from like Critical Role or anything like that, it's a comparable price.
So
And then
So
yeah.
just normally in retail, you want to do like 100% markup. I'm doing a 36% markup.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep the cost. Like I wanted to ensure that people got the quality that they wanted, and using a sort of reputable, ethical company. Um,
Mhm.
Also, all the products are made in the United States, so it does also support semi-local business, and that
Yep.
it's a domestic business rather. So supporting,
Yes.
that's a. That said, they also said that they have like international type stuff, so I'm not sure what the distinction is there. But anyway, uh, even so, it means that I wanted to keep the price down so that I'm not overcharging folks,
Mhm.
or charging people too much for my products. And so because of that, it just basically means I don't make as much money on the merch as other folks might. So
Mhm.
that is just something to keep in mind.
But
Um,
it's the only place that you can get a Sir Muntz shirt.
it is the only place that you can get a Sir Month shirt. So,
You know. So like
uh,
that's the important takeaway in this, Sean. Is
yeah,
it's the only place you can get a Sir Muntz
yep.
because he
Um,
is best investigator ever.
and then a request is to please refrain from the phrase "you should put that on a T-shirt"
Yes.
online, as it has been proven that there are actually shops that steal content and then print them out on T-shirts, uh,
Mhm.
and they look specifically for phrases like that. So,
Yeah. If you would
yeah,
like to know about something, like DM
yeah. Send
them.
me a direct message or an email, um,
Yep.
and we can talk. I'm always looking
Yep.
for interesting ideas and stuff like that,
Mhm.
um, for apparel, for items, for merch. So I'm willing to listen to you, the audience, as to what you want, and to then provide
Yeah.
it to you. So
Yep.
that's going to wrap up what's been going on with 8-Bit Adventures. So why don't we dive right into Quest Log?
Yeah.
So Courtney, do you have anything new for Quest Log?
Unfortunately, no. I got a little bit further in my dives in the cave skull caves in the desert. I'm still trying to kill those um mummies and everything so I can get those rewards. But I just haven't gotten a lot of time to actually play.
For
Um,
clarification, this is in Stardew Valley.
yes, yes. Sorry about that. Yeah. Um,
So okay.
but you've been playing stuff.
Is primarily Temtem and Witcher. So we've already
Mm-hmm.
talked about Temtem. and Witcher 3 is just progressing through the story. Kind of finished up the main storyline in Skellige, which is kind of like an Act 3, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Out of, I don't know, 6.
Mm.
And now I'm just sort of wrapping up all the various side quests and exploration and points of interests. So I'll still be in Skellige for a while. A lot of boating, so I'm happy about that. Although boating is not it.
Nice.
Boating in Witcher is not as exciting as boating in like Assassin's Creed. So, which I also have on my backlog, but yeah. So really just those two. If you want to see more Temtem, be sure to check out one of the 8-Bit Adventures Plays streams. And remember that you can spend gold that you earn by watching these streams on Twitch. And some of the items include
getting to name a Temtem.
Getting to decide on the next Temtem to catch. Or that you can name a Temtem. Or any other character, really.
And I have done that, guys. It's a very, very simple process. It actually gives you a little pop-up when you get enough gold to do it in Twitch. And you just click redeem and tell, you can type in chat what you'd want to, if it's naming a character or somebody like that, like that's what you want them to be named.
Yep.
And Sean sees it, and yeah, then it's gonna happen. So
yeah. Otherwise, I tend to default to is sort of like I'm doing with Pokemon, defaulting to Dungeons and Dragons related names. So names of Vox Machina characters, Mighty Nine characters, Dragonlance characters.
I'm still mad about what you named.
Warcraft characters. Oh right, my Gengar named Mollymawk. Yeah. I'm a monster.
I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, whatever. So and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We wrap things up. Man, and just over an hour too. So yeah. A little bit of a quick episode, but as I said, it was a light news week and Courtney's not feeling well, so
yeah, and also this week there was also the Super Bowl, so like some stuff just wasn't happening. Next week though, I am going to go see Birds of Prey on Thursday, so we may have I'll have a little bit of a review on that one.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. We went to see Dolittle.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. That's something to add for Questlog. So we went to see Dolittle. It was okay. About the same quality as like Detective Pikachu. So, I mean, it was a fun, enjoyable movie. I wouldn't think about it too much. I was like, really, the worst part about the movie is Robert Downey Jr. like putting on a fake Scottish-ish accent throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
And he does it in such a way that like it actually makes it hard for him to convey emotion. So I kind of wish he just was himself. I think that would have been better. Yeah. But aside from that, clearly a movie made for kids. But if you enjoy that kind of film, you'll definitely be in this one. And some very surprising casting decisions. Like John Cena and Tom Holland and Octavia Spencer.
No, you didn't see anything then. Like that was one of those characters was just missing, just floating air.
Well, it was just John Cena providing the voice, so it wasn't actually him. So he was not being seen.
Oh, so
yeah, he voices the polar bear. So he voices the polar bear. Tom Holland voices a dog. I'm trying to think of who else, but yeah.
Okay. So. I'm a little bit saddened still to hear that there wasn't a Push Me Pull You, because it's to me it's not Dr. Dolittle unless there's a Push Me Pull You, but I'm going to let that go for right now.
I still have no idea.
I will Google that and send you.
Is a two-headed llama.
Yes. As I said, it's like a cat dog. Like yeah.
Nah, they didn't have that.
No, it's
they didn't really need it. They didn't.
It's a great animal though.
Eh.
You know.
Eh.
I'm the kid that got spoiled by reading the book at a young age. And so, yeah.
And there's far more exciting stuff than two-headed llamas.
But it's interesting.
Yeah. But
again,
yeah.
You will understand my fascination with zoos and aquariums pretty soon.
But yeah, that is definitely going to wrap things up for this week.
Yes.
So if you'd like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8-bitadventures.com. Over there you can find the 8-Bit Adventures comics, podcasts, streams, links to videos, my artwork, all that cool stuff. You can find the store and a thank you page for all of our patrons. And if you want to help support all of that, as well as projects like Berkshire Bites, Dark Matter, Tales of Jamora, all that stuff, you can become a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. You can get exclusive access to patron-only content, such as the Speedy and Monty comics, the special pre-show audio feed for the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, some exclusive D&D content for Tales of Jamora, and more. You can get that for as little as $1 a month. Although I say that, and I think the subclasses require $2 a month or more. But everything else is just $1 a month, as well as, the aforementioned discount on merch. Big shout out and thank you to all of our current patrons. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Yeah.
Our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. Go over there, show him some support because he is great.
Yeah.
And with that, we're done. So as always, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming. And enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.